Please join me in welcoming Sarada.
Thank you, Eugene. That was a wonderful introduction. What comes to your mind when you hear the word leader? A tall, confident man on a big stage talking about company vision? Someone with a powerful title? Or a charismatic speaker energizing the room? For years, that's what I believed leadership looked like. As the journey went through, I learned to wear what I call it as a corporate armor, masking your emotions and a pleasant professional facade and confidence from outside. From the outside, the success looks great because in the corporate world, leadership is measured by the titles, by the power, by the visibility. I was navigating through the labels, which is too bossy, too soft, intimidating. I quickly realized influence is often driven by the perspective, not by the purpose. That actually made me pause and reflect. There was a gap between what I thought I was outside to what I was inside. So that made me ask a question to myself. If leadership is driven by a title, what happens when title is gone? So the answer came not from workplace, it came from home, where there are no hierarchies, no titles. Only matter is trust and connection. I'm a mother of twins, a boy and a girl, same home, same values, and same age, but completely different personalities. What worked for one doesn't work for the other. To lead them, I cannot use authority. I can only rely on understanding. So that's when I started to blend profession with personal. So when I ran, they ran with me. When I hiked, they hiked beside me. So what I was trying to do is I just want to be a role model to my kids so that they can look up to. As my son grew older, there is a new challenge in front of us, national service. Let me ask you, how many of you here did the national service? Just raise your hand. Okay, it's about 20% of the room, I believe. So my son was the first one in the family to go through the national service. And I had been in Singapore for 3 decades, but yet national service is not something that I grew up with. I'm not familiar with. So what did I do? I started reading about it. The more I read, I had more questions. So at some point in time, I was thinking, if I don't know something, how am I going to train my son or coach my son when he needs it? That's when it triggered me that all my titles, all the power, all the corporate experience, I felt powerless because I needed that moment, some help which I cannot provide to my son. And as you know, women don't have a mandatory national service. And even if it was there for regulars, I'm disqualified because of my age. But in 2014, MINDEF introduced a national-wide initiative that actually allowed people like me to contribute. When I heard about it, I was totally, that's my chance, I got it. My friends thought I was totally crazy to do something like that, but fortunately my husband was with me, he supported me. I applied, I went through the interviews, I went through the medical, and finally, I was standing in front of the panel of commanders. And they asked me one question. Why do you want to serve? It was so refreshing to me because there is nothing about corporate, there is nothing about titles. So I said to them, I want to be a role model to my son. I can't be sitting sidelines in a comfort zone and guiding him. So I want to be role model. That was my message. That actually struck me that leadership is not something by the title. It is something that you take the ownership, you take the responsibility for that. So ladies and gentlemen, I've been serving SAF as a, sorry, how do I do that? Okay. As a volunteer for almost 10 years. And the last 2 years have been especially very memorable, serving alongside of my son. And I have proudly marched for NDP 60 last year, SG 60. So every step of the way, it's a steep learning curve. There is, in the uniform, there are no titles. What matters is just the mission and who is next to you. I think everyone who went through, they know this exercise. Imagine this, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. You're half drenched, you're sitting in Basha, and you're doing the sentry duty. And I was thinking about my comfortable bed, my high-flying job, all those things. But guess what? I feel so small in front, thinking about what people go through versus that. And that actually struck me something, you don't need a boardroom to make a difference or influence something. In rain, in mud, or in the hardest moments, we were together. I've seen people breaking down. I too had my breaking moments during the route march with the load on, with sweat all over, and you use the same clothes for a couple of days and whatever. And I was totally lost it at that. But we are together and we cheered for each other. And the lesson out of it for me was you have to lead yourself before you lead others. And trust me that when I say this, as a middle-aged woman, it is not easy to go through the trainings. So in one of the hardest training moments, my kids had toddlers at that time, and they wrote a letter, more pictures and less words. Mama, you can do it, never give up. But moving forward, when my son got enlisted a year ago, I was the one writing the letters back to him. So it was a full circle moment for me, in a way. And beyond my son, I started to appreciate every NSF who goes through this journey. I have a huge respect for them. I had no power, I had no influence or anything so, but I was influenced a lot more people around me with when I'm in the duty or doing anything like that. So what became as an exercise, a small simple thing at home, a lesson, became a nationwide lesson for me in such a way. That small patch on your shoulder has taught me something that 24 years of my corporate experience never taught me about it. So leadership doesn't come with a title. It comes in every small decision that we make in our life. And we own it, and when nobody is watching it. So that's about the essence of the leadership. So ladies and gentlemen, we are in a world today where obsessed with the titles, status, things like that. And we are moving so fast with the artificial intelligence and AI-driven and all of them. We don't need more productivity. What we need is more humanity. Because AI takes care of the process, but AI doesn't care about the person next writing the code for them. It's our responsibility to do it. So I have a challenge for you today. Look at your home or office or the community. What have you been thinking to do but you couldn't do it, which is stopping you to act on something? You don't need a title to coach somebody, or you don't need a title to inspire somebody. So just do that, because the moment you lift somebody up, you're already leading. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need a title to begin with. Thank you.